Am I the asshole for calling off my and my husband's dinner date? So this goes a long way back. We have been married for 3 years and together since high school. He's seen me at my worst and we had twins 5 months ago. So yeah. I know that hormones are at an all-time high during pregnancy and after giving birth, but I don't think it lasts that long. Anyways, so I've never considered myself beautiful. I don't have a flat tummy, I am short, and all the other things women are self-conscious about. And now after our sons, I have so many stretch marks on my hips, breasts, stomach, and thighs, and my self-confidence is at an all-time low. I get annoyed pretty easily, and that is exactly what happened. One of my friends visited me yesterday, and she couldn't stop complimenting about how handsome my husband looks, especially taking care of our sons. She had passed those remarks before, but I ignore it most of the time. I never wanted to be the insecure, jealous, boring wife, because I am not. But now it's hard. I tried talking to him about my body issues, so I could have a little bit of an idea how he feels about it. But he just tells me he doesn't know what I'm talking about, and that I still look the same to him, and I don't know if he's lying or telling the truth, and since I'm on maternity leave from work, these thoughts completely consume me. I recently saw a post on r/true off my chest about how a guy doesn't find his wife attractive anymore after the birth of their child. She's still in recovery, and that just breaks my heart. That post took any bit of self-assurance I had with it. And maybe that's why I snapped at him yesterday. My feelings were all over the place. When we were having dinner, my friend asked him what are we doing for Valentine's, and I knew what he had planned. Because that's been our routine for the past decade or so. We have a night out at the restaurant where he took me on our first date. It's about an hour drive away from where we live now. He said just that, and she started laughing and telling him about how boring our life is, and having the kids will mess up our lives even more so. He replied with, boring and happy, and the kids are a bonus. I felt awful. I don't know why. Maybe because he should have elaborated more. She just shook her head. After she was gone, I fed the babies and put them to sleep. Before falling asleep myself, I told him to cancel the plans for Valentine's Day because I can't leave the kids alone. Which is not true, since my parents and his parents are completely capable of taking care of them in our absence. He was confused for a moment and told me to get some sleep. In the morning too, I was not very warm and welcoming towards him. I just can't get past my thoughts. He said we will talk today, and I don't think I'm ready for the confrontation. So, is it bad? Am I really being an asshole? I feel like a hot mess, and I need him to tell me, show me, I'm enough for him. I think you're going through a lot right now, and I think you are still dealing with a lot of postpartum stuff. Life seems very messy. It seems you've got one asshole of a friend clinging on, just saying absolutely disgusting stuff to you about your husband. That makes me question why you keep someone like that around in your life, who I'm sure would know that you're struggling right now, and yet comes and says these things in front of you and your husband. That is so disrespectful, and I question why you keep her around. As far as the judgment here, I think I have to go with you're the asshole because, you are lashing out at your husband. You are not communicating with him. From his point of view, he can only guess what's going on in your head and why you're doing the things you are doing. You're not giving him a chance to be open with you and really sort out a lot of these issues that are going on. At the end of the day, we're all human, we all go through a lot of crap, we all make mistakes. Still, from what you've shown me so far, I'd have to say you're the asshole. And now in the comments, kinda you're the asshole. You are feeling insecure, and it's very reasonable to want reassurances, but cancelling your regular date? From the sounds of it, you are being purposely emotionally distant and trying to avoid the discussion with him about it. You've been together a long time. You are both adults. Have a discussion. And OP says, yeah, I think I'll do that. I can't just shut down myself like this and let it all fall apart. Please see a therapist. I think postpartum hormones may be playing a big part in this, and your self-esteem probably took a big hit. These issues can get bigger and bigger as you internalize them. I'm sure you look absolutely beautiful, and I think your husband thinks the same. Go talk to someone. You deserve to think of yourself for a bit. Do some things for yourself. Be happy. You are going through a big change. It's a tough time, but it will get better. I'm 5 months postpartum too, and having the exact same feelings of inadequacy and unattractiveness. Don't deny you and your spouse this time to bond and be together. Be honest with him and let him build you up. When he says he loves you and he's attracted to you, believe him. Twins are no joke, and neither are the hormones, and yes, you are still being affected by them now. This is a very precious time in your life. You are worthy of every ounce of joy. You're the asshole, but hear me out. Why are you punishing your supportive husband for your friend's rude, unnecessary comments? That's not fair to him, OP. First off, tell your friend to stay away for a while. She obviously has a thing for your husband and gets off on making you feel bad, trying to portray you as some boring hen to make herself more appealing. It's obvious your husband loves you, loves your body, even when you don't, and that's okay. It takes time. I know. I'm a mum. He loves your family. Believe what he says, and stop letting other people's perspectives and experiences dictate your own. Your husband did nothing to deserve this disappointment, and you don't deserve to miss out on an awesome date night where you two can connect as a couple for the first real time since you had your babies. Go slow, but go and have fun with him. It's okay that your mental health is all over the place, but it's not fair to let your husband deal with the fallout. Let him help you. That's why he is still next to you each night. Good luck, OP. And OP says, thank you for your advice. I have to pull my head out of my butt. I feel so stupid. Don't feel stupid. You're human, who just made 2 more humans. Your brain, body, and soul are burnt out right now. I want to say I apologize for sounding harsh. Was not my intention at all, but you are beating yourself and him up for no reason. But that's what happens sometimes when your psyche is battered and bruised. You were worn out in all the wrong places, and it's okay, because you acknowledged your part in this. Who knows, maybe hubby can help give you back that spark for the weekend. Let him give you that hug. If you're okay with hugs, everyone's different. I say your feelings are valid. You feel rough, but your husband looks at you like the gem you are. Let him pamper you. If you are ready and able, enjoy the weekend, my dear. You earned it. And now on to the update. I realized I was acting quite stupid that I posted that. I was just feeling so low and making things up in my mind that weren't exactly there. It's all good now. Anyways, we did go to our date and I opened up to him about my problems and apologized too for being so rude. My husband is a very simple and loving man. He was hurting too. He told me my body is perfect and he always knew that he'd grow old with me. He said the same things that you all wrote about our babies. He thinks he's the luckiest man of all. I'm the lucky one though, and honestly, I could have just told him all about my insecurities and we could have easily sorted it out just like old times. But hey, I learned something new from all of you kind people in the comments. Thank you. And now in the comments, am I the only one who thinks the OP should ditch the nasty friend? Yeah, my friends and I never comment on the attractiveness of their partner, except maybe when they very first start dating them, and we definitely don't rag on each other for leading boring, in comparison to your youth, lives, or insult romantic gestures. Yeah, she sounds like one of those high school mean girl characters. What an asshole. She doesn't seem to realize how awful her friend is being. So much this story reads like the way a friend of mine talks about herself. So I projected a little while reading, and if I or anyone I knew said the things that friend did, I would be absolutely livid with myself or the offenders respectively. That's no way to treat anyone. That said, there is also the possibility, at least for some of it, of misinterpretation due to OP's insecurities. Like the friend cooing over how nice the husband and babies look together, reading as saying her husband was so handsome. Regardless, I hope OP and her husband live a long and happy life, with or without the questionable friend. That was a lovely read. There is still too many people who forget that the best relationships look boring from the outside. Anyone who wants excitement hasn't grown up. Also, twins. How exciting is this friend expecting their lives to be with 2 5-month-olds? Aside from the obvious getting no sleep and learning fun new talents like how to juggle 2 crying small things. Also, postnatal depression is a real thing, and 5 months is still well within that time that it can affect you. I wonder if OP would benefit from talking to someone about it. I think people still don't realize how common and how serious PPD is. One of my closest friends became suicidal after the birth of her baby. She didn't feel bonded to him and thought that made her a bad mother. After a decade of trying for kids and wanting so badly to be a mom, it was too much for her. Once she told our friend group she was diagnosed with PPD, several of them said that they had had it too. Hormones are powerful. It is scary stuff. Our next post is titled, "My partner chooses his stalker friend over me, but then wants to reconcile when cut out by his circle for being friends with her. My boyfriend is a dancer. Because of this, he has a lot of female friends, which is fine, because I have plenty of male friends too, so there was never any jealousy on either side through the course of our 2-year-long relationship. He has this really close circle of female friends. Some of them are friends, some of them not, and just know of each other's existence. I have met all of them. They are wonderful and passionate women, and I get along with almost all of them. One of his friends never took a liking to me, but to be honest, I think she never really tried to get along with me. I was fine with this. Not everyone has to like me. The thing is, though, I am dating her friend, whether she likes it or not. She might not like me, it's fine, but trying to insert herself into our relationship is a no-no. What I want to say is that on top of openly voicing out her dislike for me, she's also quite stalkerish. She's blowing up my boyfriend's phone at weird hours, and if he doesn't pick up, she's throwing a fit on how I'm changing him and occupying all his free time. Last week, we had our anniversary dinner, and guess who showed up? Yup, this friend of his. He told her that we're planning to have a romantic date at this one restaurant, and she decided that she missed her friend, so she's just going to join us and pay for herself so we don't have to mind her. For some reason, my boyfriend isn't correcting her behavior. I know that he thinks that she's acting out of line because we've had this conversation plenty of times, but for some reason, he just can't set and maintain good boundaries with her. After that dinner last week, I was so mad at my boyfriend for not doing anything and just allowing her to ruin our anniversary date that I told him not to contact me for a while so I can cool off. As I said before, I get along with the rest of his circle, but I've gotten especially close to one of his female friends over shared interests. Obviously, she has learned about our fight and messaged me to learn what has happened. So I explained everything that took place, not only during our anniversary dinner, but throughout the course of our relationship. That's when I learned that this friend of his was a problem even before I came into the picture. She would accuse the rest of the girls from my boyfriend's circle of trying to monopolize his attention. She would be possessive of him to the point she would crash any meeting he had with any of his other friends and stalk him through Snapchat. She explained that they never really interfered because it was not their place to do so, and they thought that maybe there was something going on between my boyfriend and his friend. But now that I'm here, this friendship of his is just inappropriate, and she can't accept that. Apparently, she told the other girls, and they've decided that my boyfriend needs some tough love, because he messaged me yesterday, accusing me of trying to mess up his friend circle, berated me for being jealous of his friend, and even went as far as to tell me that there is a reason he's choosing her over me. I told him if that's how it is, then we are over. That was yesterday. Today he had a change of heart, and suddenly he wants to repair our relationship. I asked him if his stalker friend is in the picture, and he said yes, that she is, but I have to understand that she's going through a lot. Then he asked me if I could talk to his other female friends again, because they kicked out the stalker from their group chat, and she's crying to him that now she has no other girl to talk to. I don't know what to do. That's 2 years together, and I love this man, but this is a drama that I'm not sure that I should be a part of. I also have this weird feeling that the only reason he wants to reconcile is because this weird friend of his got kicked out of the group chat. My thoughts are all over the place. How should I proceed with this? I don't know, man. That's a tough situation right there. Doesn't really sound like he respects you and your wishes all too much. I don't think I'd be very comfortable in a relationship with someone like that. My advice is tread carefully and respect yourself above all else. You gotta look after yourself at the end of the day. And now in the comments, he probably only wants to reconcile because he's lonely. Only yesterday he told you that he was choosing her over you. Let him be with her and find someone who actually respects you because this dude ain't it. And OP says, yeah, part of me knows that this is probably the case, yet I can't help but cling to the hope that he was just up in his feelings yesterday from being reprimanded by his friends. I'm really torn over this. Maybe this thought will help. It sounds to me that his motivation isn't interest in you or even a desire to salvage his relationship with his friend circle. He only wants to repair the damage for Stalker Girl's sake. She is unhappy, so now he wants to work on the situation. It's all about trying to make her happy. It sounds like he made it clear that the reason he wants to repair your relationship is not because he realized he loves you more. It's because the benefit to his friend if he does. He hasn't changed his choice from her to you. I understand that's heartbreaking to you, but don't fall for sweet words now. He's not sad because he's missing you. He's sad because Stalker Friend is sad. Nothing's going to change if you get back together because she's still in the picture and he will continue to prioritize her over you. You deserve more than that. You should try and become better friends with the girls who reached out to you. That's a really good show of character. It's also sad your boyfriend's friends care more about you and your relationship than he does. Kick him to the curb, fully steal his friends, because you and those girls deserve better. Your ex-boyfriend has made it clear that he will always put Stalker Girl before everyone else. His other friends have confirmed this. He doesn't want to get back together with you because he loves you and he's willing to maintain boundaries with this woman. He only wants to reconcile in the hopes that his friendships with the other women will be repaired and they will take him and Stalker Girl back into their circle. You deserve so much better. If you take him back, you will do so knowing that you will be the minority partner in a threesome. Do you really want that? I would keep him kicked to the curb and not waste any more time with him. Time to find someone who will put you first and have your back. And now, onto the update. We broke up for good. I asked him one last time if he really wants to keep the stalker in his life, got a response that he feels responsible, so I wished him well and blocked him. I thought that I would grieve over the end of this relationship. Turns out, I didn't even know how stressed out I was by this mess. Blocking my ex felt liberating. Once we broke up, I stopped getting Facebook friends requests and Instagram requests from weird, obviously fake accounts. I can post a story without worrying about Stalker suddenly appearing where I am, out of nowhere, in hopes of meeting with my ex. They can have each other. Not my circus, not my monkeys. I got myself a really good friend though. After breaking up with my ex, I wrote to his friend that reached out to me. I felt like I owed her an explanation, since I thought breaking up with my ex would mean the end of our friendship. She called me crazy for thinking she would ever leave me alone now that she knows how cool I am. I just came back from grabbing a beer with my ex's ex-circle of female friends. I was invited by the friend that reached out to me. The girls are great. I was told that I shouldn't blame myself for the fact that they decided to cut my ex and stalker out of their lives because they were thinking about it long before I even came into the picture. She was causing huge problems and none of them wanted to deal with it anymore. And the stories I've heard. Crazy. Stalker is so possessive over my ex that she was even jealous of his own mother. After his mum split with her husband, my ex spent more time with her to make her feel better. Stalker then tried to convince him that his mother is in love with him, lol. My ex complained to one of the girls that Stalker was regularly sending him articles about emotional incest until his mum got herself a new boyfriend. I'm glad I removed myself from this mess before it was too late. I want to thank everyone for their advice and tough love. I needed it to see that I'm putting myself in a very dangerous position. And now in the comments, so happy that you made the safe choice, and that your friends understood and still wanted to hang out with you. F your ex and his crazy-ass stalker. And OP says, thank you. The friends that I've gained are the best thing that happened to me through this mess. Wow, she is batshit crazy. Why does he keep her around? The whole situation with her saying that his mom was in love with him should have been enough to tell him that she's batshit. Glad you're rid of him and that psycho. Some people are so insecure that they constantly need sexual attention from the other gender just to feel okay about themselves every day. It's probably one of the most unattractive traits a person can have. And OP says, he claimed that she has some mental health issues, so he feels responsible for her well-being as her friend. I don't know if it's true or not. I'm just glad none of them are my responsibility anymore. Your ex is what happens when you mix savior complex and stupidity together. Good riddance. She probably does have mental health issues. Obsession, stalking, etc. are not something someone does when mentally healthy. However, the target of her mental illness is not able to help her. Only professionals are. And OP says, she apparently has BPD from what I've learned, and she was getting professional help at some point. I don't know if she still does. I just heard that she spun out of control once again when we started dating. I have a theory about his thinking in this. He is insecure himself, and so he maybe doubts his ability to hold a relationship or keep it going. You know, that little fear that most of us have that at some point our partner will work out what a waste of space we are and dump us. Something along those lines. But here's this girl who is obsessed with him. No matter who he becomes and what he does, she will follow him like a puppy, hound him, force herself on him. For a guy with any insecurity about his future, he knows that as a backup plan, she's as concrete as one can get. So he mollifies her at every turn. She's his safety blanket. My pondering was based on how would it feel to know that someone was obsessed with me, and this would be my immediate conclusion. I realize there's loads of assumptions in there, but I honestly think if he were to undergo psychoanalysis, this would be the core of the relationship between them. As for her, I think she's just batshit. This is so batshit insane that I totally believe this is real, but the real question now is this. What other stories did you learn? You can't say that they told you juicy stuff and not share. And OP says, I have learned a lot more than I wanted, that's for sure. Let's just say that the story about my ex's mother is just the tip of an iceberg. From what I've learned, Stalker's fits of jealousy were so severe that she would threaten to commit suicide over the fact that my ex danced with someone else at a wedding. She has also stolen his phone and blocked his girlfriend, the one that he had before me, and threatened to commit suicide if he unblocks her. Apparently, she was getting better after getting professional help, but when we started dating, she spun out of control again. Yeesh. Anyway guys, that's where I'm going to end today's episode. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know what you thought of it down below, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.